Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing well. So in this video today, we are going to create a few things out of note papers and envelopes. Why I'm going to use these two things, I'll let you know in a bit. But this is the current journal cover, and also inside is the current journal that I'm using. It's a plain simple A5 sized notebook, which I purchased at a local store. Now I have a lot of envelopes and note papers from MFPA, that is Mouth and Foot Painting Artists, and every year they send me a package. So it so happened that over the years I've collected a few and I want to put them to use in my journals. So I came up with a few ideas on how to do that. So while just dabbling a bit, I did this layout. This is from the note paper and this is from the envelope, and this is just a sticker that I took from Craft Angles paper sheets. So even if I don't have these, the quotes which are written in the note papers also come in handy. So I will show in this video as we proceed ahead how to do that. And it's quite simple. So let me show you what are the things that you need for this project. Even if you have old envelopes, not just from MFPA, but any decorative envelopes, I think you will be able to do this project. So I have a ruler, I have scissors, corner rounder, paper tape. This is just in case you want to convert it into a tag. So for that I've kept this. Brush tools, glue, and this is the note paper that I was talking about. So in some of them, the quotes are at the top, like so, and the image is at the bottom. Okay, so that's how it goes. But in this book, the quote is written down below along with the image. So what I'm going to do is, I've just taken a sample. I'll show that later. First, let me show the envelopes, and these are the envelopes. Now, the best thing about these envelopes is that I can use it twice. I can use the same image twice because it's printed on both sides, like so. So either one can cut it into half and use it as a tuck pocket, or you can use it the way I am using it, by cutting some pieces out of it, layering it, so that at the back you can write quotes, or you can write your journaling. You can write your reflections, or if you're into Bible journaling or Bhagavad Gita journaling, you can write all those reflections over here. Now if you see, when you take out the glue, a bit of it will remain. You can cover it up anytime using washi tape or a piece of element like a flower or something like that. But the main purpose for me to take up this project is to completely use all these envelopes. Like I have so many, and I know I'm not going to put money inside this and hand it over to someone. So might as well make something out of it and use it in my journals. So let's get started. All right. So the first thing that I've done is I have cut the envelope by measuring it till 4 by 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so using a ruler, I will just measure it. Hope you can see, and mark it, draw a line, and I'm going to cut it exactly over here. Okay, using my paper trimmer. So before I take my paper trimmer, I'm going to do it for all these envelopes. You can also just take a sample piece and measure it roughly, like so. That should also be enough. Okay, so if the image is from this side, I measure it from this side, from the left side. So previously I was measuring it from the right hand side, but if the main focus or the main element is on the left, you do that like this and just make a line. Okay, so the marking is all done for all the envelopes, and from each envelope I'm going to get 2 pieces. Okay, like this. So this is the sample which I've been showing. So I got 2 pieces. So I'm going to take my paper trimmer and cut it to the required size, like so. And I'm not going to throw this away. I'll use it in another project. So first, I'll just simply make the cuts. All right. these are the main cut pieces and these are the leftovers. I'm going to safely keep this aside to use in another project in another video, and we're going to work with these now. Okay, most of them have two images like I mentioned before, but a few don't, and that's fine because it's anyways colorful at the back, so I really don't mind. Most of them have two images for one envelope. Now what you can do is you can snip this off and use it as a tuck spot. Okay, and you can use it as a tuck spot. You can add your note papers or your junk journal items inside like this. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take off the glue like this. Okay, and I'm going to snip this off as well. Now if you ask me what about this, so mostly I will cover it up with a washi tape because this is quite long of a rip, right? So I'm going to cover this up with washi tape, or if you want you can just cut it a little more smaller as you wish. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to trim it in the middle as well. So right now I'm showing you with scissors. To make it quick and fast, I'm going to use my trimmers for the rest of the envelopes. Like this. I think this is the same as that in the sample. So probably I had two of these. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the process for all the other envelopes. Again, taking my trimmer back, and I'm going to snip off like so. Tear it apart, and again snip. Like this. I'm going to repeat this for the other envelopes. Alright guys, so I have saved 5 pieces to use as a tuck spot. Okay, so I'll just stick like so and add some note papers inside. So like this I have kept 5, and others I have taken out 2 pieces. So these many elements I have cut down, and also the leftovers like these strips, I'm going to save it for the next project. While these I'll just discard them. Now what I'm going to do is round each edge with the biggest rounder, that is R10, like this. And I'm going to do this for all of them. Alright, so now all of them are cornered and rounded. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a few pieces which are good at the back, not like this, probably 5, and keep them aside just so that I can show how different ways you can use these envelopes. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 done. And for the rest of them we'll make them into creative elements in a batch. So now these 5 I'm going to put it aside. So these are tuck spots. These are just plain sheets of paper, and both are different, and this is going to be the third batch. We are going to distress the edges using distress inks, but this time instead of using distress inks, I'm planning to use Artistry Ink by Shilpi, and they have many different shades. I have picked up this pack. Here it says Old Parchment, Fall Fiesta, Cotton Candy, Dark Garnet, Indian Jamun. This used to be my favorite way long back in 2016. Amazon Trail, Pampas, Aged Stucco, Blue Jays, Wild Bilberry, Sweet Toffee and Rich Mocha. I also have their one long ink pad, or the big ink pad, which says Fine Wine, and I love the shades. They are so good. So if you don't have distress inks, or if you want to buy an Indian brand, you can definitely check this out on Amazon or on their website. Okay, so I'm going to take, mostly I'll just go with the flow, and I love how the packaging is as well. So you can always store the package as it is instead of moving it into a container, a tin container, like how the distress inks are usually stored. So this one is pretty good. You can see the names labeled already. So you just pick one you want, open it, and then use it. So I'm just randomly going to distress ink all the edges as per whatever comes to my mind. I have the artistry tool also in my hand, and I'm going to use these foams to do the distressing. So here I am starting with Indian jamun. So you just go around like so, and you'll come to know the difference once I show it near the camera. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side as well. This is so therapeutic, I love how it turns out also. So this is how it looks like, and I'm going to repeat for all the pages using different ink pads. And to do this technique, I'm using the craft mat because it helps me blend and glide the ink easily. Like so. This is a little difficult to see on the black matte surface, glass surface. You can do there, many do there as well, but I prefer a craft mat just for visibility purpose. Okay, so now I am moving to Amazon Trail. After a couple of more of doing the distressing, now I'm moving to Fall Fiesta shade. And now I've taken Blue Chase. And now the final one, Rich Mocha. For the 5 ones which I had kept aside, I'm not going to distress them. Rather, I'm going to do something else with them, which I'll show later. Okay, so for the ones which I have distressed, this is how it looks like. It's very subtle, but yet seen, I don't know how well it's seen on camera. I'll try. Yeah. Okay, so this is how it looks like. All of them are distressed. Now what are we going to do is, we have 24 rectangles, okay? So I'm going to take out most of the pages because I think 24 will be, okay, so what I'll do is I'll just mix up and take out 24 sheets. So what I'm going to do is, if the quote is at the bottom, I'm going to take my scissors and just go like this in curves. And keep it aside. And if the paper is like this, where the quote is up and the picture is down below, I'm going to take out 2 pieces. So first goes the wavy line. And from the top, I'll just take out the quote. And I'm going to keep this area like this itself because I love the kind of texture it gives on the quote. So I'm going to do this, and I'm not going to throw this away. I'm going to keep this aside and repeat this for all the other sheets. All the cutout pieces from note papers are ready. Some are quotes, some of them are with images, and all of them are ready along with these rectangles and also the 5 empty rectangles that I've kept for myself, plus these tuck spots or tuck pockets, whatever you may call it. So now we will align everything, we will assemble everything together and try to create different kinds of cards or element pieces which can be a focal point in your journals. Oh, I forgot one thing. Before we assemble everything together, I am planning to distress all these papers. Okay, so I'm going to take some time out, distress everything together, and then come back. So everything has been distressed. I'm going to keep things aside and now work with these papers and the distressed rectangles just randomly. For example, if I see a quote, so probably I'll keep a quote like this, and yeah, say for example this one like this. So I'm going to do, wait just a minute. Okay, so I've stuck everything down together, like a piece of flour if I have. Okay, so after assembling, it looks something like this, and I can just place flower like this with a center in the middle that will look beautiful. Use some glue and press it well. I'm going to add some glue in the center. Put this up and just stick it. I'm going to put this aside for drying. So just in case I need to fill up some spaces, and I don't think so I will need it for many of the cards, so I'll just keep this aside for now. Okay, now comes the next part. We'll go with second one now. So for this, now this I will go with the right hand side of the this thing. So maybe I'll go with this one. Yeah, this looks nice. So I'll put it something like this, like so. Okay, so I'm going to cover this up. Okay, I'm going to cover it halfway through this, and that's it. I think sometimes only this much works. Maybe I can add a stamp when I'm actually functioning. So yeah, this is over. Add some floral washi tape. Okay, and one more, and then stick it, and that becomes, yeah, so that becomes a piece or an element. Butterflies, so for that you butterfly like so. It's going to be beautiful. Some glue back, and here goes the butterfly. So this is what it looks like, and I'm going to put this aside one second. For this one I've used these acrylic markers, as you can see. Okay, so all of it is ready, and this is my sample. Even the empty pieces are ready. Now I'm going to create a few tags. So the 5 pieces which I had kept aside, remember in the beginning, so I'm going to use these eyelets, and I'm going to punch holes in the center, put an eyelet and press it using this tool tightly so that it does not come off. It sets properly, and I can run through my ribbon through these holes, and I'm going to do this for all the 5, and once it's done the tags will be ready. Okay, so this is the ribbon that I've got. It's quite brown and shiny and I love it. So I'm going to use this. This is approximately 8 centimeters by in size, in length, and I'm going to double it up, twist from the top, thread it in like this, and take both ends like so, run it through the other side of the loop, and that's it. Once all of it is done, guys, off camera, what I did was I used a lighter to make sure the ends of each thread or the ribbon is nicely settled. So the lighter comes in very handy, the lighter which we use for cigarettes. So I have one not to smoke, I don't smoke, but when I use such ribbons, the lighter does come in handy. And that is how you secure the ends. So here is the lighter, and I've done this off camera, and this is how it looks, guys. See, it's secured now, and the tags are ready. So cute, right? You can doodle, you can journal, you can add photos, you can add it in your tuck spots. There's so many ways you can use this in your journals, and it's colorful for a change. Now everything is ready, most of the things are ready, and the next thing that I'm going to share is how I'm going to use these in my journals. Alright, so I have everything, all types of elements which recently I made, kept ready, and I've got a spread in my journal which I'm currently using. So what I'm going to do is first use this as a tuck spot, and I'm going to add some glue at the back. Okay, and then I'm going to put this right here. Okay, so this becomes a tuck spot, and I'm going to let this dry for a couple of minutes. Alright, so now since it's dried, I can add some note papers which I can just write down my daily things, and I can put it in here. And this is a cute postcard which I recently received in an online package store, which I recently received, and it's I don't know, maybe in future if I take a photo, I'll just put it back, and that will be like a beautiful keepsake for myself. And like this, you can save in a lot of things in your tuck-in spots. Of course, you can do some journaling, or you can do some art journaling over here, and save the rest like so. And that becomes your one way to use the envelopes that you have cut. Another way to use is inside this itself, you can add your tags. So we made some tags, right? Now since this is a little bit torn, if you don't mind, you can just ignore it, do some doodling, do some writing, do some craft work, and then just put it in here, either like this or like this, your way, your choice. But if you want to cover it up, you can also use washi tapes, or you can use border design in such a way that this gets covered up. So I'm going to do that. So I've taken this Ohuhu marker, these are color markers, and I'm just going to add some borders around it. My most favorite go-to border is the curves. So I like adding curves. And I'm using the thicker side, okay? And using another color which is a little darker in shade, I'm going to add. Now this I'm going to repeat on all the sides. The curves may not be perfect, but I'm not too worried because I'm going to add everything in my journal. And as long as it's going in my journal, I'm never too sad about how it turns out, as long as I'm having fun. So this looks organic now, doesn't it? This is a little darker, so I can just add in one more shade. I can go another round just to complement this shade. Alright, so that finishes and also covers up the tone part. What else I can do is I'll show you one more how it looks when you add washi tape. So on this piece I've taken out the ribbon itself so that I can add washi tape, and I'm doing half and half here because I like the polka dots. It not only complements the color in the front, which is also orangish, but it looks good. So I'm going to just make a curve here as it was before, and I'm going to distress it nicely, not just front but at the back also, to distress it nicely here, so the tone edges are covered. It's not very vibrantly seen on the camera, but that's fine. Okay, so now I'm going to take this ribbon, pass it through, and just hold things together. That's it. So that covers. So this is how you can use washi tape also as a border. So I've already shown you 2 ways. So of course, if you're a crafter, you know multiple ways to cover up the cracked pieces or the torn edges. And this as well, you can either use it like this, or if you want some hanging coming out, you can just add it here. So what you do is, instead of sticking it, you can use your, say, pin, a U-pin. If you have a long U-pin, you can use that. And that goes beautifully well. So when you close, it kind of hangs out, and if you like things coming out of your journal, this is one beautiful way to use it. Okay, so moving on to the next page. Now, how else can I use the other things? Now comes the last part, how to use these pieces. So since this, I thought of taking it as a sample, and the same things I'll do according to the day's mood or how I want to go ahead. Probably I'll do some more, adding borders using a Sharpie or something like that, and keep adding them in my journals. But at least for now, these sets are ready. So I'm going to take this particular one and only show this one as a sample, and I'm going to keep the others aside. Now the thing is, if I add it here, it's going to come out. And like I said, if you like things coming out from your page, this is perfect. Again, you can cover up this area using some creative techniques. You can even add it underneath here, like so, and that's it. You can add it in the previous tuck spot space. Or what I'm planning to do is, I'm planning to add it by, you can even add glue here and then use it as a tag again. But for me, I'm going to do some journaling. So what I'm going to do is, let me see what I'm going to do. Okay, so what I've done is I've snipped out the extra part so that it fits. I don't want it coming out too much. And simultaneously, I'm going to add a washi tape right here. So adding a washi tape, half and half. And I'm also going to add washi tape at the back. So that it stays put and I don't have to worry too much. So what my plan is, using this quote, I'm going to journal about it right here, and I'm going to do some artwork over here. So I'll quickly do that and come back. Okay, so this is how finally it looks like. Let me just zoom in a little. What I've done is I've added a tiny border over here using a CD marker, black color one. And when you flip it, I've done some artwork. So I've just assembled everything together which I had in my stash. I drew some hearts and these things for the butterfly. This I had made when I was free, and I had made a lot of hearts, and I had cut it out and put it in my stash. And this is a sticker. This is the date on which I've made, so I've dated it with some colorful alphabets. And here I've done some reflection, and I've also added a cute lamp over here because it kind of matches with the quote. It is amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit. So basically, you're just being the light of your own life, and that's what this page is all about. and it was a fun reflective page. So that way, whenever I take out a piece, say for example this one, then here it says, if you really look closely, most overnight success took a long time. So either you got inspired by someone and you can think about it and write a story with the photo, or it's your way how you take the quote and how you do your journal layout. But I just thought that if you have such cards, even if you have a greeting card, a lot of greeting cards that you have in your stash, and you have some note papers with a lot of quotes, or you have calendar papers with quotes on them, this is some way you can use, and maybe it will help you in your journals. And when it comes to this, it does come out a little bit, but that's fine. I'm really fine with that much amount coming out. If it's more, then it becomes a problem, because then it gets tone. But that is not the case with this. So I'm really happy with the way things turned out. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, Sakhi Paper Studio. And this indeed was my first very long video. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.